Hoi hoi! I'm back in Jesenice and on my way to pick up the trail again. Turns out the Juliana app has the most updated version of the trail and it stays a bit outside the city some more before turning inwards towards the city and crossing the river. So I'm on my way to pick up the waymarks and shouldn't be far. I do have to stop by a supermarket because I ran out of sunscreen, which is quite inconvenient at times like this. And the first supermarket I went in, they only had one bottle left of a god-awful like bronzer sunscreen, which I'm not want to be seen that with. So I have to find another supermarket. Today's stage is again rather short, about 18 kilometers to Begunje. It doesn't really look that interesting, to be honest. Only the last 2.5 kilometers or so through the forest and up a hill. Hopefully after this stage the trail will become interesting again, because these past few days were not very remarkable, whereas in the beginning I really enjoyed myself very much. But there will be forest again and gorgeous, but for now it's a slog across tarmac and through a few villages. Let's hike! The trail passes by a little shopping mall with a sporting goods store and a supermarket. Still no joy on the ice towel, but I did manage to find some sunscreen, which is good because the sun is quite strong today. I'm glad I chose the new trail over the old one. I chose to follow the waymarkers because at least this way there's a little less tarmac and a little more shade. Stages are just a slog you need to get through to get them better, and it certainly feels that the first 4 to 5 kilometers of this stage are indeed such a slog. So if you're not a purist like me, feel free to follow the guidebook's advice and skip part of this stage by bus or by train, because I think the second half of this stage, or maybe the last third of this stage, will be better. But so far it's a bit boring and a bit ugly and not so much fun. Seven kilometers in, it might be early for a break, but road walking stresses me out so much, I don't know why. Just the sound of the rumbling engines and the cars and lorries whizzing past. At least we're away from the busy roads now, but I found a patch of shade and I just had to sit down and find my peace again. just had a nice long lunch break in a roadside cafe in Serovnica, and I'm feeling very lazy today. I think precisely because the distance is so short. It's only 6 more kilometers, so I'm absolutely not in a hurry and I'm taking my sweet time. Almost 14 kilometers in, 3.5 to go, and I finally reach the end of the tarmac for this stage. I think maybe a little bit in the end in Begunje, but for now, finally gravel road, grass, and maybe some forest. Taxi driver said there was some bad weather coming in the afternoon, and I thought surely I'll be in Begunje by then, but not so far. I hear a rumble in the distance, but it's still quite far off, so I might just make it to Begunje before it starts raining, although with this heat I wouldn't mind getting soaked. I'm not entirely sure I'm still on the right path. I was following the waymarker until I reached the junction and no more waymarkers. The cultural path to Begunje went to the right, but that was down to a village, and the Juliana app also shows the trail being done in a village, and I was like, darn it, I don't want to go through another village if I could be walking here in a forest. So I'm making my own trail if this is not the right one. Eventually this path will link up with the GPS again. So I prefer to stay in the forest for now, in the shade, and I will get to Begunje eventually. Well, I'm back at the waymarked route, although not yet at the GPS track, but I don't mind. I'm hearing thunder in the distance and it seems like it's getting closer, so I don't want to take any more detours. Only one mountain today, but man, it's one big ass mountain. Fortunately, it's starting to drizzle. Hopefully it will help me cool off a bit. Looks like the thunder has moved on. I don't hear any rumblings anymore. So a bit more to the top, and then a short way down to Begunje. Somehow I've slightly gone off trail again, but I'll know how to find my way back, and I think I'm done climbing, so that's good news. I've made it to the guest house with this right on trail, so no taxi needed, and it's very luxurious. So I'd better take a shower and put on some decent clothes, otherwise I would feel really out of place in the restaurant. Today, well, it's not my favorite day for sure, but that's what I thought about yesterday as well. Lots of tarmac, a lot of villages, and very, very warm. Only the last 3 kilometers were quite nice, with a mountain and beautiful views, a nice church, and a hut where you can get a drink, which I took advantage of. So I'm right at my limit of Coca-Cola for the day. I'm going to get some milk in the supermarket because I've had enough sugar, and that will keep me going in the morning. See you tomorrow.